As a child, I remember feeling different from the other boys. I felt awkward around them and often heard insults like queer, but it wasn't not until I knew what the words meant that I realised that they described me. I was gay. Noticing how people spoke about gay people, I come to the conclusion that being gay was a bad thing. I decided to ignore it. What else could I do? I couldn't change and I was terrified of letting my secret out. Because of this, I avoided drawing attention to myself. I felt isolated. I was too scared to tell my parents in case of disapproval, but I didn't want to keep that part of my life away from them.
I lost my virginity at 12, and at 13 I really wanted to get pregnant. I think it's because I felt alone and really just wanted someone to love who would love me back. I moved in with my dad when I was 12. He was cool and let me do whatever I wanted. My mum was well strict, but I always had good grades and went to church and everything. When I was with my dad, I started bunking school to meet out with older boys and stuff. Everyone else was doing it. Here I am at 15. I thought I knew what I wanted, and I wouldn't change my daughter for anything, but looking back I probably should have waited.
I was never one of the popular boys at school, so I started smoking to fit in. After 6 months, I became addicted and was a heavy chain smoker. I thought it was cool, and it felt great to be accepted. I wanted to join the army, so I went for a checkup, and they noticed a fine line on my chest x-ray. I was diagnosed with lung cancer. I have been given 6 months to live. I probably won't see past Christmas. With lots of energy and no symptoms, I didn't think it would happen to me. Now, I have to say goodbye to the people I love.
I suppose it began when my dad died when I was young. I wanted to fit in with my sister and have friends who used. I was drinking and smoking from an early age, but I wanted to step it up and move on to coke and then prescription drugs. They were so easy to get hold of. We just went through our parents' medicine cabinet. It's silly, but I thought they were safer because they were legal. Calm down from coke wasn't great. I started using heroin to make it better. But the high was so good, I started using straight. You know, at the time it was great, but it started taking over. I couldn't control it.
I'm part of quite a large family and I've never met my dad. That was probably one of the main reasons that I got into crime. It was a petty crime to start off with, which turned into more serious things. My main offences were car theft and burglaries. My mum always tried to show me the right way, but I always thought what I knew was best, and it just went from one thing to another. I looked up to my elders that I rolled with. We were in a gang that everyone got into trouble. Once you get to that stage, it's hard to get out.
I drank and drove hundreds of times. Nothing bad ever happened. I'm now 26 years old, went through 26 weeks of alcohol classes, and finally my probation was over. I felt free. I learned nothing. I went to a bar with a friend, had a million beers, didn't think twice about getting behind the wheel that night. I woke up with a broken thigh bone, a broken eye socket, and no feeling in the left side of my face. Later I learned that the feeling would never come back. The dashboard had gone right through my leg. One moment I was drinking, and the next, I was laying in bed, not being able to see, breathe, or move.